Hello, scrapbookers and creative friends. I'm Linda Petuch, Creative Memories Independent Advisor in Jupiter, Florida. Welcome to Thursday Thoughts. I'm sorry we're not live. I couldn't get the technology to work and just spinning, and then once it, whatever, too much information. Anyway, I just decided I would quickly videotape and get this posted for you so that you can see. I've been working on this all day long. It's all about pollinators and making pages using borders and other things, punches and things. So I just want you to look at them and see a different way to look at some of the pages that maybe you've already created or that you've seen me create, just so that you can use them for other events. They work just as well. So let's get started. So I want to share with you, I decided I wanted to think of as many expressions as I could think of that had to do with bees and butterflies and dragonflies. So I made a list of those and I tried to include those on most, on some of the pages that I'm going to show you. First of all, I wanted to say if you're watching that the week of April 24th, Creative Memories is doing a challenge for Earth Day to use scraps. And if you keep scraps, I know you may have seen this before, but I use these Power Project folders for all my little pieces because when you're punching and making bumblebees and things like that, you only need little scraps. So it's a great thing to have all these little pieces that you can use. So I want to make sure I mention that as well. Now, let's take a look at the pages. So when you do, this was my 2024. So for last year, May is World Bee Day. So my whole month of May last year, I used bees, of course, as my inspiration for my calendar, and I always make one special page. So this was my page. I know it's kind of over the top, but I found a planter like that, so I made that. So that's my page that goes with my calendar. But then I just kept the bee theme for the whole month of May. This had to do with a little story about bees. This was my crop that month, but family activities, I just kept the whole bee theme going because that was my theme for the month of May. So that some people might not like that, but I think it's fine if that's what your theme is for the month. Honest and truly, you know, my daughter was outside here. We went, you can see that these pictures look really, really nice with the bees. So you can keep that going, keep that feeling going. So let's take a look at the next thing. So I went into my stash of pages, and the main thing I want you to think of, okay, these were pages I made for springtime, and I used bee washi tape up there and have some bumblebees in here, but this is not necessarily only to be used for a garden. Any outdoor activity would be great. So I just want you to think about using your pages and your materials and products a little bit differently. Just kind of think out of the box a bit. This has a bee on it and flowers on it, but they're going to be pictures of a beautiful day. This was that mandala, and you could put a round picture here as well. Here's one that has other pollinators, hummingbirds, and bumblebees. Hello, sunshine. Again, outdoor picture, picnic party, playing outside, that kind of thing, sitting, relaxing outside. Here's one with pollinators, and it's for Easter because I have a big bunny there and kind of a basket. I mean, you don't have eggs, so it just could be a springtime. Here's some ladybugs and a bee, all these little pollinators. Now, this one, busy as a bee. You could have garden pictures in there, but what a great setup to put pictures of kids or grown-ups who are busy at a project, using a project or having a good time. This one, Little Happy Moments. I alternated the Border Maker cartridges here to make that frame around the outside, but any happy moments don't have to be in the garden. I have the sun paper here that I use. That a lot of these you'll see are from older collections. Here's one you had a peek at from my little announcement. Be happy. Again, this does not have to be garden oriented. It could be anything. that the colors go with. Now this one, I'll very carefully take it out because this one, I cut a frame out of this one. You may have seen this one before. This is the old National Scrapbook Day paper, and I cut a frame out and put it together with washi tape. This is double-sided for a top-loading pocket. But again, this doesn't have to be garden. It could be any kind of a spring thing you're doing. Be happy, right? That's what we do. Use what we have. Now, I had made this page before, but I thought if you could use a title like bees to honey for this, and maybe it's a favorite activity that people are really enjoying, just like bees go to honey. You want to repeat that. That would be a great way to do those photos. So when I was making these little story corners for folded over corners with the borders, I made this with the bees, and I was thinking, how else could I use that? And you could just use it as busy bees. Gives a lot of space if you're maybe working on a project, whether it be garden or repair or a creative project, school project. If you're busy bees, this would be a great place to document that. Using those, because you want to use, if you have the bee punch and these flower punches, let's use them. So I made some borders here, and I thought I'm going to put these borders down on this sky blue, beautiful blue paper. This is a double butterfly. Okay, double butterfly. And here's the other page, and I have them I put them at both ends, opposite ends, so that if you wanted to make a double page spread out of it, you could do that. I'm not adhering them because I'm not sure that I would use them this way. I was just trying to think of other ideas. But this would be maybe a great page to talk about your little social butterfly. And that could be the title. And you could have pictures of your sociable children or grandchildren or friends or relatives. Here's another double page. I just pulled some white cardstock for this. Again, I have a butterflies at opposite ends, and the little fence, picket fence, and the grass, cuter than a June bug. It'd be a great place to put some cute pictures of an adorable subject. All right. How about this for a vertical activity? I have this border that I'd made, and I used that embossed hexagon. And then if you just add that to the side, either on the left or the right, and this is pretty much vertical with this at the base, but this could be a hive of activity. Why not? Got the little hive right here. That would be great. Okay, we'll use some darker cardstock here. All right, and then I have a couple of expressions here. Now, these could be placed on the corners, and I picked up on the black because of our bees. We could put this on the corner, on the edges, or you could put them at the top, with the bees flying across the top, either with the washi, this is washi tape, either washi tape at the top, or you could do it the other way. Either way, that would work, but instead of thinking of this as a garden kind of a picture or a garden kind of a layout, you could also, because these are bees, what's the buzz? Or beesy at work. Yeah, we can be silly, why not? But just by taking that little border and changing the title and what we, the kind of pictures we put there would really helps extend the use of our items. Okay, this one, this kind of, I think this is called beige. It's a cool color, and I liked it because it went really well with these borders that I made. So this could be a double page, or they could be done separately, because we have this little bee and the beehive here, and over here I added a blossom. But this would be a lovely layout to say home is where your honey is. And you could make a double page layout of that. Just another different way think about the bees and those honeycombs and the honey hives. So this one I was thinking it would be interesting. Either you could use it for maybe the day before a special event or the night before any special event, when you might have butterflies in your stomach. And that's a kind of a fun way to think of it. But if you have pictures of getting ready, maybe a rehearsal dinner, or just the night before an award ceremony, or before a big project is due, and you might have butterflies in your stomach. And this one, I thought this would really be fun. I put it like a kind of a sky blue. We'll have to pull this up a little bit because I put this little banner down there at the base. But out at the park, this was the alternated, these are not Boilermaker cartridges, it's the park and the grassland, and I just alternated punches. But how about buzzing with excitement? That would be a fun way to use that. Okay, a couple more. So I just want to share how it is easy. All right, this from my garden with love. So you might have photos. This would pretty much be for garden, but maybe you give flowers to someone, a favorite person, and you take photos. You have photos of them receiving those flowers, or people just using the flowers. Birds of a feather flock together. That wouldn't necessarily have to be birds. That could be friends. Maybe you have pictures of your kids and their best friends, or your grandkids and their best friends, or you and your best friends. Those birds of a feather. And then here, everything grows with love. Yes, it's a garden setting, but definitely doesn't have to be a garden. Does not have to be a garden layout. This is definitely Easter. Got that big old bunny there and a basket of eggs. So even though we have a pollinator here, it's not necessarily about the garden, very much about Easter. Here's a nice summer one. This obviously, you're talking about the day that you had. If there's a little butterfly on there, but we're talking about our day. So this was another one of those little corner layout things that I made, and I popped up the butterflies up there in the corners on some foam squares. But wouldn't this be a great layout? And talk about your social butterfly that you have in your family, or a friend who's social butterfly, or someone who flits like a butterfly. If you have pictures of one of your butterfly people in motion. So think of it that way. Now, dragonflies. I did a couple of dragonfly things because I want to speak for the dragonflies. I was amazed when I was teaching to find out that a lot of students were really afraid of dragonflies. But I'm here to tell you, they don't have fangs. They don't bite you. They will not hurt you. But instead, they're very much beneficial insects. They eat lots of mosquitoes, 100 mosquitoes a night. They can eat, they eat flies, all those pesky insects, they eat those, so that's good. So this layout I thought would be fun to put as quick or as graceful as a dragonfly, as quick as a dragonfly or as graceful as a dragonfly. If you've ever watched them flying, they really have a very smooth flight. Unless they're chasing those mosquitoes, that's a little choppier, but very beautiful. Okay, here's dragonflies again, and they're making a beeline to their snacks, which would be those mosquitoes. If they have to eat 100 a night, they got to get busy. So I put this so that then you might have a picture of someone beeline into the snacks that you're serving, some of their favorite snacks. Oh, and here I use grassland, and I use that fringe. I thought that's kind of fun to make a different kind of a grass. I did want to share this that I did. I used to, when we used to get paper, I was in a Creative Memories consultant before. We used to be called consultants. And we used to have this paper that was 9 by 12, or I guess it's, I don't know, 8.5 by 11, I guess it is, paper, which fit right in the printer. So I would use different fonts, and I would make titles on there. Now we have Cricuts and stuff to do that, but I mean, if you still have some of this paper, or you want to cut down some paper, you can do that, because then once you make these titles, now they're not going to be touching your pictures, so the ink, it should be safe to keep the ink away from your pictures, but then you can decorate these little tags. That's what I did. I decorated these tags. Snug as a bug in a rug, and I did variations on that. That way you have a little title, and these are some of those old Miss Grossman stickers. It's a great way to use them up. So if you have some of those, or even some of the current stickers that you have, like little fiddle piddle ones left, think of ways that you can use that to embellish little titles. That would be good. Now you might have seen this one before, Cute as a Bug. I used that ladybug punch that we had as 3 ladybugs on it, Cute as a Bug, and then you have little itty bitty journal box here so that you can talk about your subject that is as cute as a bug. How about this one? I caught the travel bug. So I put a compass up here, and then the little car. Now our new on the road, or Hit the Road, I think it's called, collection would be great for that too. I just grabbed the cars just to and use the decorative trimmer, because I have this same kind of scallopy look. But I added some ladybugs here and a couple of compasses for our travel. This one I prepared, called Love Bug. And this one I did, and you notice I left it really open in the middle. And that is because I thought it could be used for an 8 by 10. It could be used for an 8 by 10 photograph. Left it pretty open. Or, oh, I dropped one of these. Or you could use the 4 by 6 and put those on here, either way. But I thought this would be a nice, fun little way. This is the Creative Memories. This is an old heart punch. But again, with the little ladybugs, and I'm trying to use up my sticker letters as well. But that makes that very flexible. Okay, the next one that I made, I was thinking of Mother's Day. How about this? I used that tiara border maker cartridge, and of course the honeycomb, for our queen bee, which is either, you know, mom, grandma, that aunt in your family who's the queen bee. And I only put one because there's only one queen in every hive. And then I added just a little embellishment. I love making the honeycomb with this, with the gold shimmer. So that's what I used here, the black shimmer and gold shimmer. And then and I used, you know, the black kind of shimmery letters. I did pop up our little queen bee here, and then added a little bling in these little punch out flowers. This is the inside of one of the leaves. I just love that. But anyway, I thought queen bee would be fun, and of course, whenever I do these insects, this queen bee has made her trip all the way across, but she's not leaving the hive. She stays there and gets served, which is good. Okay, and I have one more to show you. And that is this one, Welcome Baby. Trying to be punny, yes. Have those little, the little jammies punch at the base. Made it all in black and yellow for our bees. But I thought that would be fun to do and celebrate a new baby. Maybe this would be for the shower. Maybe this would baby shower. This could be when baby comes home. I hope you like it. Well, thank you so much for watching my delayed Thursday thoughts, but I was thinking about you all day getting these ready, and I hope you enjoyed them. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below, and please check out the links for my website, Linda's Scrapbooking Station, and also go on the Creative Memories website. We have a buy get free album promo right now. So thanks again for watching. I want you to think about using some of the punches and things that you have in a little different way. I hope it gave you some ideas. Remember, there's no right or wrong way to scrapbook. Whatever you do is perfectly fine. Just enjoy. So until next time, happy scrapbooking.